minor thing as far as I know.
You really sounded excited at the luncheon about not only having the authority to hire somebody to be a development specialist, but sort of what it said about the sort of grander scheme of what's important. Now that you've made a hire, can you talk about sort of the not just the underlying purpose in it, but also specifically what you want Friedman to do for you that you know that will make this different than say a year ago?
Well, this hire shows the importance of player development, that we're fully committed to it. It starts at the ownership level. They fully committed to player development. We believe it's the lifeblood of our organization. That's how we get better. I think this is one of those examples of it. It's something that Mitch and I have talked about for really the last 6-8 months, and we got the blessing to move forward. We found the right guy. We're excited to have Nick on board, and he's going to be responsible for all our two-way action going between Greensboro and Charlotte. Any players on the Hornet roster that go play in Greensboro, he will oversee that transition as well. And there may be a few other Exhibit 10s or a few other swarm players that he'll be responsible for as well.
Without going too much into the weeds, what does that mean as far as actually sort of what sort of duties he has, and how does he? Is he like a liaison to some degree between you and Joe? I just wondered how it works.
He's really a liaison between me and Jay Hernandez. So Jay Hernandez oversees our player development, and he will be in constant communication with Jay Hernandez, making sure that there's no mismessaging going on, that it's very clear about what we're developing, how we're going to develop, terminology, day-to-day work. There's no slipping through the cracks here. We're fully on board. Everybody's speaking the same language. So Nick's going to work directly with Jay Hernandez and making sure those players are fully developing how I see fit and my vision for each player.
He's worked with Terry in the past, Terry Hillis, with like off-season stuff,
right.
Training,
Yep.
and Terry. And when we asked him what that was like, he said, it was not just like conditioning stuff. It was very technical. He says it was pushing me on finishing in ways that I didn't envision, myself. He said it was basketball stuff in addition to conditioning stuff. I just wondered what skill set he brings to this job that attracted you to him in particular.
It's a very holistic skill set that he brings. I mean, he's very good on the court. He understands how to develop players. He understands what we value, the type of shots we're looking to create, the shots we're looking to work on, both the finishing, the threes, how to attack a closeout. He's played in a fast system, so he understands how to play fast. Out of the teams that he's come from, he understands our system at a high level. So I think he brings us value in skill development on the court, but also an offensive perspective. He understands how we want to play and how that works in our development of those players.
What element of your defense do you think needs the most this season?
Our focus right now is on the rim and on the paint. Plain and simple. We do not want to give the rim the paint this season. I believe we can do that. We have the ability with our size, athleticism to do that. So we've been focusing in that area and transition defense as well. Get back, set our defense, protect the paint.
Is there any defensive statistic that you look at more or weigh heavily more than others?
It's a number of things that make up our defensive system, but it starts with the paint. We want to limit that area. It's not just that, a number, that paint point number. When the ball hits paint and it gets sprayed out, that's a tougher closeout for us. So we got to contain more. It's not one number that I look at each day defensively, but the paint is one of those major areas for sure.
You have an idea of where you want this defense to be ranked? Obviously number one, but kind of a top 10, top 15. You're kind of finishing 23rd last year.
Our goal is always to be a top 10 defense. It'll always be our goal there. But right now, we got to take care and maximize and be the best defense we can be. Where that puts us next season, this season, I don't know. But I think the best teams in this league are top 10, either offensively or defensively. And I think we have a team that can push closer to the top 10 defensively this season.
At the luncheon, you mentioned defensive thing and trying to do too much last year as a coach.
Yeah.
So what did you learn? You mentioned just now about the paint, guarding the paint. What did you learn about doing as opposed to everything the three-point line last year as well?
Well, I was a part of some very good defenses in the past, and those defenses, the top tier defensive teams take away the paint in the rim in general. Not every team. Last year, I believe the Bucks were first in protecting the paint, 30th in three-point defense. So you can, look at all these numbers in different ways. The common thread to me, though, are good defenses take the paint in the rim away. Number one. From that, we're gonna have to build. And I think last year I tried to take away the three in the rim a little bit too much, changing coverages a little bit too much, trying to do that. This year we're gonna be locked in. And right now we've done 3 or 4 of the same drills over and over again, making sure that we nail this home.
You had 2 days, Tuesday, yesterday. Just wondering, as a coach, what do you get out of 2-day practices? Because they don't happen as much as they used to back in the day. And
we're too soft now. Yeah, we're too soft now. I mean, these 2 days, it's just. I remember when I first got in, we were probably 6, 7 at least 2 days. Now we're at 1, 2. Some teams probably don't do any 2 days. We just got to be smart with it. You don't want to overdo it right now. It is a long season. I trust our performance team. And they're leading me a little bit in that area, making sure our guys are fresh, they're healthy. It's a long year. But I think we got a lot of work in the last 2 days in those 4 practices, and we had another good one today.
You talked about how different Miles was at the end of the season compared to the first half of it. I'm curious what you would like to see him grow in this season too.
I just want to see him mature. Just his mentality, I think overall, the skill set, we're going to get him better. He's going to grow in that area. But I want the mentality of being a professional, coming to work every day, valuing every single day he steps on the floor, valuing every possession. If Miles gets that, I don't know, where his limit is. And he's a young kid. He's been well coached. But we need him to take another step in that area, becoming professional and growing.
He mentioned that he got real excited when you talked to him about what high aspirations you have for him, particularly on defense.
Right.
He said, he told me he thinks I could be a guy who can guard 1 through 5. He said, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody, say that about me before. What do you see him that maybe he didn't necessarily see in himself as a defender?
Well, I don't know what he saw in himself. I've challenged him.
But you know what I mean. What I'm saying, he feels like you have, given him aspirations that he didn't feel about himself.
Well, part of my job as the head coach is to set expectations, and I've set the bar high for Miles. I believe in him. I believe he's a two-way player, and we need him to be. He has that type of talent, the athleticism, the size. Now we need the mentality to go with it, the professionalism to go with it. And he's making those strides, but I'm going to challenge him every day to become a top-tier defender in this league. I think a lot of players don't see that in themselves when they come in early. But
Is it easier to envision yourself offensively than defensively?
Absolutely, because you're judged. What do you see every day out there? It's your numbers. It's the box score, and most times those are offensive numbers. There's no defensive number out there in general for individuals. People can look at plus minus if they want, but in general, you're not valued out there in the media, in the public, through your defense. You're just not. But where you earn respect in this league is on the defensive end, as a team, as an individual. And I think people respect that. Players are getting paid. They're getting paid at a higher level right now if you're a two-way player. If you can do both. There's a high level of respect for guys that can guard.
What do you see in his both athleticism and skills that makes you think he can be really good defensively? I mean, what is it about him that you say, wow, if he applies that more, something really nice could happen?
Well, if you remember one of the plays last year, I forget what game it was, he had a chase down block. It was fourth quarter. It was like 2 minutes to go. It was Boston. It was a Boston game. We had come back on them, and he lost the ball in transition. And then we turned it over, and he just went and made a play. Athletically, just went and made a play. And in this league, there's so much spacing, athleticism, shooting on the floor. You need guys that can just go make a play. And he has that ability. That if we break down defensively, he can get back into play with his length, athleticism, power, speed, and go make a play at the rim. And he did that in that game. I think it was a play, it saved us that game. He blocked a shot at the rim, and he had another one in the San Antonio game. Those are 2 plays I'll continue to talk to him about.
Remember, was the game in San Antonio or the one in Charlotte?
Charlotte. It was one of the, I think one was a home game against Boston, and the other was San Antonio. I think he blocked. It might have been a DeRozan, and he was out of the play, and he just found a way to get back into play. That's what allowed him to become elite. But on a day-to-day basis, he has to guard his position, which I believe he can do. Stay in front of your man, stay down, make players live with contested shots in front of him. And he has that ability to do it 1 through 5. And I see that in him. He can sit down and guard point guards if he really applies himself.
To what extent is what he is doing as primarily a 4 different than what he would have been doing playing primarily 3?
I don't. In our system, not a lot. It just puts a 4 on him in general, for the most part. He's more of a screen and roller at the 4, but I'm going to have him making plays off the dribble as a handler, setting screens. He's going to be in different positions all over the floor. He's going to handle in transition, and I expect the same thing defensively. He's going to be switching on to 1, 2, 3s, and 4s. So the versatility of this kid is really special.
Does the position change affect him more offensively or defensively?
It's both. It's going to change it, a little bit for both. But I'm just trying to give him some clarity in his role by putting him at the 4 more than the 3 this season.
Coach, what's impressed you most about Kobe Simmons this week? And can you envision him on the regular season roster?
He's had a really good camp so far. He's putting himself in a really strong position right now. Plays with speed, athleticism, end to end. He's probably our fastest guy right now. Puts a lot of pressure on the rim, playing with a lot of confidence, and defending at a high level. He's picking up, full court, 3/4 court. He's been really impressive so far.
What have those conversations been like between you and Kobe? Like, what have you told him that you wanted to see out of him out of camp this week?
Play with pace, get to the rim, make good decisions, create for others, and defend every single day. And he's done that.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.